What's up, J Fusion fans, and welcome back to another video. So today we are going to celebrate the life and legacy of Shotaro Ishinomori. So actually, by today's recording, it should be January 26th. So he celebrated his birthday just yesterday, January 25th. Or if you're in the West, it should be January 25th. Uh, but uh, it also just happens that his death anniversary would be on January 28th. So, I decided to just put together this video, just put together this one single video to encompass his life. So, you know, I would like to mention his works and the legacy that he left behind, as I've mentioned earlier. So, anyways, let's start the video. So, a brief history of Shotaro Ishinomori. So, he was born on January 25th, 1938, in Miyagi Prefecture. Now, we know him as Shotaro Ishinomori, but that is actually just a pen name, and his birth name is actually Shotaro Onodera. So he gets the Ishinomori name from the town where he grew up. So Ishinomori in Miyagi Prefecture. So nowadays it has become a tourist attraction. Of course, obviously, with Shotaro inspiring everything. So you would find a lot of Kamen Rider statues and a lot of other characters that became famous or created, by Shotaro Ishinomori himself. So we do know him as the father of Kamen Rider, but of course he also, in a way, created Super Sentai. Now, there is a bit of difference, of course. So, but basically, he created both series, but he is definitely known not only for Kamen Rider and Super Sentai, but he actually made a lot of other works. Um, One very noticeable example would be Cyborg 009 and the Kikaider series. Of course, there are other characters that are created by Shotaro himself, like Kaiketsu Zubat, but these four series, the Kamen Rider series, the Super Sentai series, Cyborg 009, and Kikaider, those are some of the big names that anyone who has heard of Shotaro Ishinomori can name off the top of their heads. So his career began in 1954 when he was just a high school student. And during that time, he stayed in an apartment called Tokiwa So. Now, if that sounds familiar to you, that's because this apartment became the inspiration for Tokiwa Sogo, the protagonist of Kamen Rider Go. So what's interesting about Tokiwa So is that not only did it become home to Shotaro, but it actually became home for other mangaka as well. So he was working on a magazine called Manga Shonen, which would be equivalent to stuff like Shonen Jump and stuff like that. So again, he began working as an artist there. So he created his own characters, of course, and of course, eventually he would create Kamen Rider. And as a mangaka, as a manga artist, you would notice a lot of similarities in his designs. Like, take for example, Cyborg 001, and you would see many similarities again in design to the works of uh, Osamu Tezuka, the creator of Astro Boy or Tetsuan Atom, if you would like to, or if you prefer the Japanese version. But nonetheless, he did take some inspiration, and I think he became an assistant to Osamu Tezuka some point, because I did see in a documentary like almost a couple years ago that he did work for Osamu Tezuka. Therefore, Osamu Tezuka's works became sort of an influence on Shotaro Ishinomori. Hence, a lot of similarities in their artwork. But nonetheless, Shotaro became a very famous mangaka, to say the least. So, of course, he would create, you know, with the Kamen Rider series. Uh, he would create many characters, and although he only was very much or only for only 2 seasons, like he actually had a hand in creating Super Sentai. So he became more associated with the Kamen Rider, but still, the fact that Super Sentai still exists today, it's all because of him. Now, he actually appeared in one of his works. He did the ultimate, what I call, Stanley move. So, when he appeared as a fisherman in Kamen Rider Black the movie. Now, I do know that I think he may have appeared in other Kamen Rider works. I'm not really sure about that, but definitely he appeared as a fisherman in Kamen Rider Black the movie. So, uh, again, like I would call it a Stan Lee move, because he is the creator, but he would have a cameo in the film as well. So, at least in his filmography, that's one of his, I would say, most distinct appearances on camera. And it really is interesting to me because I am a Kamen Rider Black fan, and it's my favorite Showa era Kamen Rider, and one of my favorite Kamen Riders of all time, to say. So yeah, now of course, everything has to end, or at least Shotaro Shotaro Ishinomori's life had to end. So he passed away on January 28th, 1998, because of heart failure. And even after his passing, his legacy still lives on. Again, taking, for example, the Kamen Rider series, which is still ongoing. And as I mentioned earlier, despite having only made actually 2 shows, uh, he basically started Super Sentai, and it is also going on to this day. But he also made again other lasting works such as Cyborg 009. It had a few anime adaptations in the 2000s, and Kikaider had a reboot movie, a live action reboot movie in 2014. So again, we still feel his presence until today. And one legacy that Shotaro Ishinomori left behind, well, inadvertently, so because of his creation of Super Sentai, by extension, he would also create the Power Rangers. Well, because, obviously, Super Sentai footage, Super Sentai seasons, the suits, the mechs, and everything. So they would be used and adapted into the Power Rangers franchise. So, yeah, by extension, Shotaro Ishinomori also created the Power Rangers. And that proves that his legacy lives on not only in Japan but also internationally. And speaking of international, well, his creation, his more notable creation, or the creation rather that he is most associated with, Kamen Rider, well, it would go internationally as well, thanks to the Mask Rider show in 1990s, the spinoff to the Power Rangers and the adaptation of Kamen Rider Black RX. So we also had Kamen Rider Dragon Knight, and of course, a lot of Kamen Rider shows would be dubbed in different languages and released in other countries as well. So again, for example, uh, for where I came from, the Philippines. So especially for people of my generation, we would definitely know of Kamen Rider Black because for many of us, at least in my case, that was the first Kamen Rider that I've ever seen. And it stuck with a lot of us. Of course, it's not the only Kamen Rider show that we would watch. Like, I've seen Ryuki, Blade, Fies, and other later Heisei Kamen Riders would be shown on Philippine TV as well. So, in a way, thanks to Shotaro Ishinomori, there have been a lot of tokusatsu fans in the Philippines. So, I guess, in a way, I have to thank him because if it weren't for his works, I wouldn't be here. I wouldn't be doing this. JE Fusion wouldn't even be around because if you guys don't know, by the way, so most of the JE Fusion staff, most of the JE Fusion crew, so Gaiatron, uh, Magnum, and of course Gekidan himself. So we're all Filipinos. Although we do have non-Filipino contributors to the JE Fusion website, at least the core team of JE Fusion is basically a Filipino team. Uh, but yeah, because of Shotaro Ishinomori, well, uh, directly or indirectly, we are here. So uh, that's why I decided to make this video in honor of his legacy. So, what you guys think of Shotaro Ishinomori? Please tell us down in the comments. As always, thank you so much for watching. Please do leave a like, comment, share this video, subscribe, and don't forget that notification bell so you guys get the latest from JE Fusion. This has been Philip, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye!